What's going on? What's going on, man? Just really want to get on here real quick. Really want to just talk about something. I know I did talk a little bit about things, but I definitely want to just get on here. More of a general. It's kind of like a general knowledge of some type of history, but I really want to get into something that needs to be addressed. Actually was addressed, but just need to be addressed a little bit more. And the common thing that needs to be addressed is this reconstruction. Now, the reconstruction is why I want to jump on, because I definitely want to talk about a root cause of why Reconstruction was a failure, and a decision of basically what a lot of people talk about mediocre, mediocracy and stuff like that. And the person I definitely want to talk about is Andrew Johnson. Andrew Johnson. Not Andrew Jackson. That's a whole different president, a whole different person. He's actually is the 17th president of the United States. He basically came in power after the assassination of Abraham Lincoln. It was basically Abraham Lincoln's re-election when the assassination occurred. And a lot of people maybe they know about, but they really don't try to focus on him. He's kind of like, there's certain presidents that they choose not to focus on. And the reason why they don't focus on those presidents is because those presidents are one of the main architect of certain failures and certain pathway of what indirect that the country of the United States has taken. And the pathway for Andrew Johnson is he was kind of like the direct cause of why Reconstruction was pretty much a failure. If you, I know they read, he was nearly impeached. He didn't want to give any rights, any protection to the free slaves, black population. After the Civil War, he actually kind of during the time of giving land and giving compensation to the blacks, the former slaves, basically like reparation. They basically was getting an instant gratification of reparation. He basically threw a wrench in that into just continuing the compensation and actually giving the power back to the former Confederate or the white Southerners, to basically put them in position to gain power and pretty much seize everything that black people had and pretty much put us back in a new evolution of what a lot of people coin is 2.0 slavery. As you know, enforced the Black Code. The Black Code was basically like a new improved guideline of what was called the Slave Code during the early part of the 1700s, during the colonial days. So it was a lot of things that basically was the reason of what a lot of black people's state of existence is today. That's why we have such a hardship versus other groups in the country. And while we're in the way as a whole, as a collective, in the economic bottom that we should not been in the first place, and we basically was So he wanted to really, he didn't support the Civil Rights Bill. He didn't support the 14th Amendment. Now, he did push, now, when he was in Congress, he supported the Homestead Act in the early 1840s, almost going into um, of the 1850s, close around of the compromise of 1850. But he did support the Homestead that basically gave out over 160 million acres. That was when they acquired the territory, and from the Mexican American War during the 1840s. And basically, when you go and you look into it, it did include blacks at the beginning. Then eventually phased out blacks from it completely. Just completely shutting them out. But he also too was he actually was actually part of a convention at a time during 1831 after the Nate Turner rebellion to actually enforce new guidelines, and also he was also part of the disenfranchisement of the free people of color as well. Very racial dude, very hard line. He was pretty much he owned slaves. Um, and this is really what was crazy that I need want to talk about as well. And when he grew up poor, he grew up dirt poor. He was born in North Carolina. He actually became an indentured servant to a shopkeeper. But he was also getting trained by his mother to be an apprentice, but she also signed him over to be an indenture, him along with his brother, and they became indentures servants at 10 years old. Now they were guaranteed freedom plus his apprenticeship, and his career in the field that he was being an apprentice was at 21. Now, yeah, it was basically like about 11 years. I mean, but him and his brother ran away when he was 15 from the dentureship. He was actually in hiding. He actually, if I'm not mistaken, he went to Tennessee and he actually was hiding. That's where he met his wife. He kind of like assumed a new identity, a new life, because back in North Carolina they're looking for him. He was in indentured servitude, so he basically, like his mom, practically sold him into a permanent, not permanent, but into indentureship. You know what I'm saying? So, and he broke the contract, ran away. So, for somebody who was in some type of servitude, and he still was a hard liner than what he was, that lets you know. There's no camaraderie, and he's actually Irish. He's actually Irish. His family's is Irish, Scottish Irish, English. So he's basically, he's part of that type of lineage. And a lot of people talk about Irish. There's a common shift between blacks and Irish. And, maybe in the individual level, but as a collective level, there's no allies really in I mean, you might have some individual level, some type of a partnership, or maybe even a friendship, but not the collective. But yeah, he was also, you know, um, he basically was a thorn for the Republicans at that time when they were trying to pass these bills to really benefit um, the newly free black population. He was really trying to be an obstacle, talking about states' rights, and he always talked about being a constitutionalist, even though the Constitution, if you look at it in bold letters, it should guarantee all men from all races, but that was not the case. If you go back into the assembly of the United States, they actually put certain type of clause, and even in the South, used slave population as a clause to gain power within the government itself, to actually to keep and to reinforce the institutional laws of slavery. Now, um, I would definitely will have to say he was not a bright guy at all. He was not bright at all. He didn't know how to read. He didn't know how to write. He really didn't even know how to do math. He really didn't know how to really uh, function as an actual complete citizen of the society. Actually, his wife was the one that teach him to read and write and even to do mathematics. And she basically was one of his main supporters of his political career as well. So basically, like I said, his wife basically helped him out to become what he became. But yeah, he wasn't, like I said, his beginning is was 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 very mediocre, very below average, very mediocre, very below average. So you kind of wonder why Abraham Lincoln would pick a guy like him, such a mediocre guy, just really don't have nothing much in common. A little bit of hardship he experienced, he ran away. Um, in a way, to be a coward in a way. Um, that he picked him to be his running mate for his re-election, and the only reason why he basically picked him was just pure loyalty. He did not leave with the South when they seceded. He stayed, you know. So I think in back of my mind, I think Andrew Johnson, think about it, he was a coward because he didn't go with his state, his party. He basically stayed like he was scared to leave his position because he didn't want to be punished, and he didn't want to face a certain type of wrath. So he started, he lived a good life. He wasn't sure he was gonna live a good life if they succeeded. Um, so basically, he was basically picked to be in that position purely because of just loyalty. That's really what it was, just loyalty. So, definitely just wanted to just drop a little bit, really more about him because the things he did, really complicated the Reconstruction to the point they had to actually make a tenure of office act to restrict his power because he was really doing a lot of things. He was firing cabinet officials. He was trying to implement his own pro-Confederate South agenda. He was trying to reusher, they said reusher a certain type of a constitutional form of slavery. So he was doing a lot of things that really undermined American society. But in a way, he succeeded because the South eventually regained its footing, and you basically got black life what it is. Um, Definitely, I think I told a little, that's really what I really want to talk about. I really want to talk about Andrew Johnson because he is the worst president of the United States. Everybody talk about Donald Trump. That's fine, but if you really, in my opinion, and if you go back to maybe certain people in maybe even certain part of media, in the new black media, and certain articles and memoirs, and just go back to some historical records. Uh, Andrew Johnson was the worst president. Like I said, he only had like maybe two accomplishments. He had really, actually, he only got one as a president. He was the president that bought Alaska at during his presidency. So I mean, that's probably his only accomplishment that a lot of historians will give him credit for. Besides that, he is deemed the worst president of all time. I mean, Donald Trump cannot override him. All right, for what he did, especially for black folks. Donald Trump haven't even got to that point. And I know this new tax law could devastate black America. You all right? But it's not the end all. It wasn't the end all. His act alone actually stripped all reparation from us and our citizenship from us when we were just free from chattel slavery. To me, that was the ultimate sin. That's the ultimate betrayal. That is almost like tyrant. That's like almost like a tyrant. And I compare that to a tyranny. To strip your rights and your citizenship and your existence of being a human being, which you was deemed to have and should kept your rights and kept your everything. So to me, I think he was the worst president of a long time. Woodrow go up there. Andrew Jackson, he's kind of up there. Donald Trump, maybe the second Bush, maybe up there. Nixon, but you really have to look at it. Really did the most damage. That is generational. Not just generational. It was so bad that we had to do a second movement to regain just a little bit of citizenship that we lost during Jim Crow, which stemmed from the Reconstruction, from which he was the root cause of giving power and their land and the wealth back to the former Confederate. So he is the root cause of why ADOS have the life that we have now. And to blacks that's going against the ADOS, you guys need to do your history. You guys need to do your history. I mean, there's things that you are entitled to. If I tell somebody, that means I can take your house from you. I can take your money. I can take your child. You're going to say, no, that's my child. No, you don't earn that child. Then you're going to say, how dare you? That's my child. Well, like the same thing with reparation. That's our right. That's our birthright. That's our lineage. That is what is earned to us. To black people who's against that, then you guys then I have to bring it to a more personal, individual level to you. That means, would you let me take everything from you? Would you let me take your livelihood from you? No, you're going to fight for it. So in the collective, that's what we are fighting for. We are fighting for our lineage, our racial people livelihood, our identity. We are taking it all back. But if I just want to bring this guy out, I know Yvette talked about him. Shout out to her. I always knew about him, but not quite knew about him. I only knew a little bit about him. I knew he was very anti-black, but you know, a lot of presidents are anti-black. But he was a whole different breed of being anti-black. That's what I have to focus and make him regard. But yeah, man, just like I said, I just wanted to really just jam a little bit about him. Like I said, I'll probably come back with another video, and I'll hit you guys later. All right, one.